It was raining again in Seattle, the kind of soft, steady drizzle that seemed to soak into your bones. Inside the warm glow of the small cafe on Fifth Avenue, the world outside felt far away. The glass windows fogged slightly from the heat within, carrying the aroma of fresh espresso, baked pastries, and something more intangible, a sense of quiet comfort. But for David Whitmore, sitting alone at the corner table with his 8-year-old daughter Lily, comfort was something he hadn't felt in years. He sat stiffly, his perfectly tailored navy coat draped over the chair, his gaze fixed on the menu he had no real interest in reading. Beside him, Lily sat in silence, her small hands folded in her lap, her dark brown curls falling over her face as she stared at the table. She wasn't shy, she wasn't rude, she simply couldn't speak. David's wealth, his influence, his empire of tech companies, none of it meant a thing when it came to helping his daughter's voice find the world. Since the day she was born, life had been both a miracle and a silent struggle. Doctors said there was no physical reason she couldn't speak, her vocal cords were fine. But trauma can build invisible walls, and Lily's walls had been there for as long as she'd been alive. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the magic of human connection, then please like this video, share it with your friends, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to Royal Stories. Your support helps us tell more stories that touch hearts and change lives. David had brought Lily to this little cafe in hopes of breaking their routine. Most days, their world was a loop of private tutors, therapists, and the silent echo of a home far too big for just two people. His wife, Lily's mother, had left when Lily was barely 4, unable to bear the weight of what she called a life on mute. David never judged her aloud, but deep down, a part of him still carried the sting of her absence. Every day, he tried to fill the gap she'd left behind. Every day, he failed in ways only he could feel. The cafe was calm that afternoon, only a few customers scattered between tables. The light was golden, pouring through the windows and landing in warm patches across the hardwood floors. Behind the counter, a young waitress moved gracefully between tasks. She was tall, with deep brown skin, her hair wrapped in a patterned scarf that gave her an air of quiet dignity. Her name tag read Amara. David noticed her, but only in the way one notices background music, present, pleasant, but not significant. That changed in a heartbeat. Lily had been idly tracing the condensation on her glass of water when Amara approached with a warm smile. "Hi there," she said softly, glancing at David before lowering her gaze to Lily. Then, without hesitation, she lifted her hands and began to sign in smooth, fluid motions. Lily froze. Her big brown eyes widened as if the air had shifted in the room. For a long second, she didn't move, then slowly, like a flower turning toward sunlight, she lifted her own hands and began to respond. Her signs were hesitant at first, clumsy from lack of practice, but they carried meaning. Amara's smile grew. In seconds, their silent exchange became a conversation more alive than anything David had seen in years. David's throat tightened. He had tried everything, hired specialists, traveled for therapies, invested in experimental programs, but in this small cafe, a stranger had done in moments what he couldn't do in years: reach his daughter. As the minutes passed, Lily's posture changed. Her shoulders relaxed, her hands moved faster, more confidently. She laughed, soundless, but bright enough to feel. David sat there, watching the two of them, unable to speak himself. It felt like intruding on a sacred moment. He could only watch, his heart a storm of gratitude, wonder, and something that felt dangerously close to hope. Later, Amara explained that her younger brother was also nonverbal. She'd learned American Sign Language as a child, not just as a skill, but as a lifeline. "I know what it's like," she said softly. "When the world doesn't speak your language, you find someone who will." That day was the start of something David couldn't have planned, bought, or controlled. He and Lily began coming to the cafe every Thursday after that. At first, it was just to see Amara. Over coffee and cocoa, she and Lily would sign for hours, stories, jokes, secrets David was never privy to but didn't mind missing. Soon, Lily began signing to him, too. It was slow, David had to learn, fumbling with the shapes and motions, but each time, he saw more of her breaking through the walls. By spring, something extraordinary happened. One rainy afternoon, after weeks of patient connection, Lily signed to her father, "I love you, Dad." The world stopped. The clinking of cups, the hum of chatter, the whisper of rain outside, it all blurred away. David's vision swam as he signed back with trembling hands, "I love you too, Lily." And then, as if the dam had cracked, she whispered the words aloud. Faint, fragile, but real. His name on her lips, her voice in the air for the first time in years. David held her then, in the middle of that little cafe, tears streaming down his face as Amara quietly wiped her own behind the counter. It was never just about words. It was about being seen, heard, understood, even in silence. Amara had given them that. Lily had claimed it for herself. And David, for the first time in a long time, believed that the best things in life truly couldn't be bought. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe to Royal Stories, and leave a comment telling us about a time when someone's kindness changed your life. Your words might inspire someone else to believe again. Special request. In the comments, please write, "Kindness speaks louder than words," if you believe love always finds a way.